Byleth and Marianne are they're still down here.
Yeah, they're having a good old time back there.
Yeah, just hanging out. Marianne is like, Professor, I've realized that thing I said about like the curse in my crest and all that didn't actually make any sense from a writing perspective, and now I'm afraid again.
Shall we?
Edelgard does not come closer to me. All right. Well, I mean, honestly, like, these guys are coming in, but straight up, I'm just gonna have Hilda, like, hit Edelgard and call it a day, I think.
Yeah.
What is to do doing?
Hiding in a corner.
Yeah,
what would you do?
I would have not shown up like he did. That's what I would have done. Dude, we don't even actually, like, need, as long as we don't miss, we don't actually need a whatchamacallit. I gotta take the Freykugel up against her Emir or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Wish Apocalyptic Flame would kill. The only way to do it is to not miss 259 accurates.
I mean, we'll see.
Or get a 1% crit.
Oh my gosh. That would be even crazier. There's no way. There's no way.
Here we go.
So, you're another of the goddess's vanguard. You don't have even a shred of self-awareness, do you?
Yo, this track!
Come at me, so that I may put you out of your misery.
We didn't get the crit, but we hit them both.
Cannot believe it. Hilda does it yet again.
She's unstoppable! Can we make Hilda the leader of Fódlan?
Anyway.
It looks as though my path will end here. My teacher, claim your victory. Strike me down, you must. Even now, across this land, people are killing each other. If you do not act now, this conflict will go on forever. Your path lies across my grave. It is time for you to find the courage to walk it. If I must fall, let it be by your hand. I wanted to walk with you.
How is Edelgard still the best character in, like, the entire route, even when she only shows up at, like, and has a moment at the very end? I will say that instant cut when she was talking was really neatly done.
Yeah, I like that.
However, I hate Byleth. That's like... Oh, that was an amazing moment from Edelgard, though. Once again proving that she's, like, one of, if not, honestly, the best character in this game. Also, when did Byleth get there?
You know.
Imagine if they had that cutscene, but it was Hilda. Like, it just constitutes in whatever character gets the kill shot.
Oh, that would have been so good.
It's over. We were only able to beat her because of you.
Byleth did nothing!
This wasn't the conclusion I'd hoped for. Even though... Never mind. It's over now. The important thing is that we won.
Here, boy. A letter. An Imperial General asked me to give it to you.
A letter? Let's see it. It looks like it's from Hubert, Edelgard's vassal.
If you are reading this letter, that means I have perished. As Her Majesty would never surrender to another, I can only assume she has fallen as well. It greatly pains me to think of this coming to pass.
Me too, Hubert. Me too.
That said, As the survivors, I must ask you to settle certain affairs in our stead. You must destroy the threat that slithers in the dark. I am sure you must recall Monica and Tomas. Their allies yet live. They hold deep resentment against the children of the goddess and the people of the world. And they are biding their time until they can exact revenge. If left to their own devices, it is certain they will eventually bring unimaginable calamity and suffering to the world. I detected their sorcery when you took Fort Merceus. I have deduced the location of their stronghold, Shambhala. You will find its whereabouts enclosed. There is no question that they are the enemies of everyone in Fódlan. Do not allow yourselves to forget that. Lastly, while I cannot say she is in good health, the Archbishop resides in a secret chamber in the Imperial Palace.
But why?
I have shared the location of the entrance to that secret chamber with the person to whom I have entrusted this letter. I believe that Her Majesty will be victorious. Even still, I must plan for her defeat as well.
This is a really, really awesome thing from Hubert here. Like, the other routes just make the Black Eagle's house look even better.
If you wish to lead this world, I challenge you to rise to the occasion and surpass my estimation of you. Such is your obligation as the victors. And the only fitting tribute to all that Lady Edelgard sacrificed.
Hubert, to leave a letter like this behind. You were a better man than I believed you to be. So, Rhea is alive, and the fight isn't over yet.
Dude, I can't wait to see what they're gonna, like, do with Rhea being alive here, because I can't imagine anything satisfying coming from it.
Those who slither in the dark. It sounds like Fódlan will never know peace unless we defeat them. The allies of Monica and Tomas, well, we knew about them already. I think it's safe to assume this is the same group who used Lysithea for their blood experiments. And they were also responsible for the javelins of light that destroyed the fortress. But who were these children of the goddess who they supposedly resent? There's just not enough information here. I don't suppose there's any chance that this is his idea of a prank. If so, wow, good one.
Claude!
Hubert, rather than writing a letter, you should have just told us before we fought.
Yeah, let's ask Rhea about it, I guess.
Right. We still don't know for sure if this letter is telling the truth. Let's go find out.
You have come to save me. Is this a dream? I have longed to see you again all this time. Is it truly you?
Claude, I can see you have grown into a reliable young man. Thank you for supporting the professor, and for rescuing me. Surely the protection of the goddess has...
Wait, Rhea. What do you know about the children of the goddess?
Children of... What is this about?
Forgive my bluntness. Someone from the Empire filled us in on a few things. I know it must be painful for us to ask you difficult questions after such an arduous confinement. But we have no choice. We must defeat a secret enemy. Those who slither in the dark. Do you know about them?
Those who slither in the dark.
Apparently, they resent the children of the goddess and the people of the world, and are planning something big. Something terrible. They use blood for their wicked magic, and are capable of dropping javelins of light from the sky, which are powerful enough to crush a fortress. If you can think of anything at all, please, tell us now. We need to know as much as possible about these enemies in order to stop them.
A quick thought I just had, we just took the capital city, which is a giant target when looked at from the sky, and you just mentioned the sky javelins again. I have a feeling we might want to get moving.
This is the critical moment that will determine whether or not Fódlan falls. Can't you see that the time for secrets has passed?
It is true that there is a group of people who have slithered in the darkness and threatened the peace of Fódlan since ancient times. I am sure you have heard the stories of a man named Nemesis.
Yeah, the wielder of the Sword of the Creator.
Nemesis. the King of Liberation. He's the hero to whom the goddess gave the Sword of the Creator.
Nemesis was originally the leader of a group of bandits. He plundered the Holy Tomb and stole the remains of the progenitor god. When Nemesis appeared in Xanadu sometime later, he already wielded the Sword of the Creator.
In Xanadu?
Xanadu, the Red Canyon.
I do not know how Nemesis obtained the sword, or why he appeared in Xanadu, but he used that sword to massacre the people there, the children of the progenitor god. From their corpses he gained even more power, and brought war to Fódlan.
That's completely different from what the legends tell us about Nemesis.
A mere bandit like Nemesis would not have been capable of anything so monstrous on his own.
Aha! So Nemesis had accomplices. And those accomplices must have been those who slither in the dark. They used Nemesis. And this time, they used the Imperial Army to once again bring war to Fódlan. I finally get it. And I even understand why Edelgard was associating with them. Just as they were trying to use the Empire was trying to use them. Rhea, there's still a mountain of things I need to ask you. And I will. But I'll leave all of that for another day. You must be weak after living in confinement for so long. Please, rest for a while. My friend, let's prepare for battle. We need to strike Shambhala as soon as possible.
We're finally gonna go take down M. Night Shyamalan for that Avatar movie.
You must not allow Fódlan's bloody history, the Red Canyon tragedy, to repeat itself.
I just don't understand why... never mind, cutscenes.
It occurs to me that we never got an answer from Rhea about the children of the goddess.
Aren't they the people of Xanadu?
She did say that the people of the Red Canyon were the children of the progenitor god, so I suppose so. But those evil guys continued to plot their revenge even after the Red Canyon tragedy. Does that mean some of the children of the goddess, or their descendants, are still alive?
Rhea?
Could be. She was talking about what happened in Xanadu as if she was there herself. What are these children anyway? And how are they connected to the goddess? I almost disappeared into the bottomless swamp that is my mind. I thought that after we defeated the Empire, I'd be able to see that sight I longed to see.
Dude, the line, I almost disappeared into the bottomless swamp that is my mind, I love that. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's just a good line. What site is that?
I've told you about my dreams before. I want to break down the wall separating Fódlan from the outside world. The site I want to see lies beyond that. Honestly, it's a trivial thing to fixate on.
Wait a minute, yeah, Nero's right. Wasn't there some kind of a support where Claude's mind was like a bowl with a hole in it or something?
Yes?
Some other ridiculous metaphor that makes no sense?
Yes.
Just people, gathered in their towns, living out their lives together. Sometimes laughing, sometimes fighting.
Sometimes laughing, sometimes fighting. That's what we've been doing, honestly. We just put the word war over top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the people living there aren't just citizens of Fódlan. There are people from Dagda, Bridget, and even Dusker and Srang. There could be people who were born in Almyra, or countries even farther east there, too. All of those people living together like it's nothing special at all. That's the sight I long to see. It's so simple, but still so far away. But this is no time for complaining. We need to focus on capturing Shambhala. Let's hurry up and gather everyone together.
So, you mean to tell me that Fódlan will fall to ruin if we leave those guys be?
If this map is reliable, their base is just south of my family's territory.
This story is a bit much to believe.
And yet, Hubert would never lie.
It does ring true, somehow.
Remember Monica, the one who killed Gerald? And the old man who was masquerading as Tomas? They were their allies. And the Flame Emperor and the Death Knight were merely their pawns.
Hold up, I don't like that turn of phrase. The Flame Emperor and the Death Knight were also using them as pawns. It wasn't like, oh, Edelgard was manipulated by the slithering people the entire time, because that's just disingenuous. That's not what happened. I will have no slander of one of my best girls in any route, even if she's dead.
The people who were after my blood? They were also the ones who used me to conduct their blood experiments.
As awful as it sounds, they're seemingly fond of using blood in their secret techniques.
Sly, are they vampires? Be honest with me.
Sure, why not?
I knew it!
Ugh, that's really gross. I could never be friends with someone like that.
I believe they were also responsible for the Javelin of Light that destroyed Fort Merceus.
Hold up, boy. Do you really think that we can win against such powerful foes?
I don't know. But we have to try, don't we?
It's our responsibility as the victors.
Since Edelgard can't do it, I guess it falls to us.
They were trying to use the Imperial Army to plunge Fódlan into war, but we nipped that in the bud.
Did we nip it in the bud, though? There were 5 years of war, and the Kingdom of Fargus is, like, devastating. I wouldn't say, like, we stopped it, don't get me wrong, but nipped it in the bud? That might be a bit of a turn of phrase.
Now, we just need to tear out their roots. And I know we have what it takes to do it.
Hooray, more murder! Yeah, I'll save the game. We're almost at 60 hours in this playthrough.
Yeah,
That's about right.
it is about right.
Part 2. Verdant Wind. Blue Sea Moon. The city without light. Immediately following Edelgard's defeat, the Alliance Army discovers the existence of another adversary, a group operating behind the scenes within the Empire. Claude suspects that if the true enemy is left unchecked, disaster will befall Fódlan, and so he cuts short the celebration and the troops head for Shambhala, where this foe resides.
So Nero already said in chat, also, it is like storming crazy. I just saw lightning flash, so if my power suddenly goes out, I apologize. But it's just, you know, letting chat and you, Slyro, know it's a possibility.
Okay.
But, so, like, Nero already said it in chat, and I, like, had a general idea of how this went, and I already agree, but, like, this definitely feels like it should have already existed in Edelgard's route that I played, where, like, going to kill the people who slither in the dark should have been at the end of hers. Because, like, I'm assuming...
I just don't get it.
Stupid cutscenes. But I'm assuming that it's more than just one chapter. Probably 2 or 3, maybe, is what I would guess. So, like, that would have brought up Edelgard's chapter to Edelgard's route to at least 20 chapters, which would have been, like, roughly on par with the others, even if that still makes it the shortest. So...
Yeah, and, like, Hubert's letter literally said, hey, like, this is what we're going to do, and if we can't do it, then do this in our stead.
Yeah, so, I know that at the end of Edelgard's route, when it says, like, what happens, like, with the rest of the story, it's like, yeah, Edelgard went and, like, they won. They beat the people who slither in the dark. And I'm like, why didn't I just do that? Like, for 2 maps, it looks like you've already got the maps in another route. You really couldn't just translate them over?
Yeah, I guess not.
Three Houses Definitive Edition coming out 2022.
What is it, Claude?
Those Javelins of Light. They were trying to use it to kill us at Fort Merceus, right? But then why not drop it on Garreg Mach? They must have known for a while that we were here.
It is not that they chose to refrain, but rather that they were unable to do so.
Rhea, how are you feeling?
I am well enough. I cannot afford to rest while Fódlan is in danger.
What do you mean when you say they couldn't drop a Javelin of Light here?
Once, a very long time ago, a massive ball of light fell upon this monastery. However, that light mysteriously changed course in mid-air and landed in ALL instead.
Oh yes, ALL, whatever that means. So the reason they keep Rhea alive, from what I can tell so far, is purely for lore dump purposes. I still just don't get why they left her alive, though. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems so weird and so, like... I mean, played the Edelgard route. Edelgard's entire journey is to kill Rhea and then depose the church, but then she leaves the biggest figure of the church alive in her captivity for 5 years? It just boggles my mind. I don't get it.
ALL, the Valley of Torment. So that's what the wreckage of those Javelins of Light looks like.
The Holy Tomb is not only the location of the progenitor god's eternal slumber, but also a sacred vessel for a power that repels evil.
I want to believe they were allowing the bad guys to drain her blood for years. Now, the people who slither in the dark, who really need a better name, draining her blood or whatever and not killing her for it, I would totally believe.
That's my guess.
Edelgard having been the one to capture Rhea and have her in captivity and not just kill her because she also does not want to actually help the people who slither in the dark still doesn't make sense to me. I just can't conceive a way in my head where when Edelgard has the option, she leaves Rhea alive.
Well, I mean, wasn't she still helping those who slither in the dark or whatever until, I assume, until the end of the war?
If, like, the people who slither in the dark, like, got there and, like, before Edelgard could kill her, but they said, like, Imperial people caught Rhea. I just don't understand why...
But, like, they were working together, like, the whole time, basically.
Yeah, I know, but, like, when they got to the point where, like, Rhea was gone and all, what you're saying could have been what Edelgard decided to do, and in that case, I just think Edelgard made a stupid decision. But if I was Edelgard, and what I would expect Edelgard to do from what I remember of her as a character, is, like, kill Rhea, and then tell the people who slither in the dark, like, yeah, I'm sorry, but, like, she was a giant dragon trying to kill me, so I killed her. I couldn't catch her. We had to kill her. Sorry.
Yeah. I probably assume from her she didn't want to be fighting a war with Fódlan and a war with, the other group, like, at the same time.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, like... I really feel like the right call would have been to have, like, killed Rhea and then just been like, there was nothing we could do, dude.
Yeah, but then you really wouldn't have a Golden Deer route.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like the Golden Deer route still plays out at the exact same until someone other than Rhea needs to lore dump you.
That's fair.
Supposedly, the progenitor god built the Holy Tomb herself to protect her children from the evil light.
The evil light? The light is bad? We're getting Yu-Gi-Oh! GX up in here?
So the children of the goddess gathered in Xanadu because of its proximity to the monastery? But we've fought at distant locations many times.
Despite that, the Javelins of Light only fell on Fort Mercius.
In his letter, Hubert said that he detected their magic when the fort fell. In other words, because they used a Javelin of Light, Hubert was able to pinpoint the location of their base.
So they didn't use it before then because they didn't want us to know where their base is?
In any case, those Javelins of Light must be something they can't just use whenever they want. And they finally decided to use one at Mercius, where they were sure they'd be able to finish us off. It's only thanks to the whims of the Death Knight that we escaped with our lives. And no Javelins of Light have fallen since then.
It's possible that the enemy hasn't yet realized that we've learned the location of their base.
If so, their guard may be down, which makes this the perfect time for a surprise attack.
I will accompany you.
What? No, that would be far too dangerous. Your long confinement weakened you greatly, did it not?
Those people have opposed us since ancient times. I wish to learn the truth about them for myself.
I understand. I will not stop you, but please take care not to overexert yourself.
We don't know exactly what we're up against here, but having you around is very reassuring, Rhea. Let's prepare to strike at Shambhala before they make their next move.